Greetings, fellow Whovians, and welcome to Timey Wimey Review. We are moments away from the Easter special, The Legend of the Sea Devil, being shown for the first time, so I thought I would check out the third Doctor story, The Sea Devils, which was originally broadcast on BBC One 50 years ago now, back in February 1972. Just in case you don't know the plot, the third Doctor and his companion Jo Grant are paying a visit to the Master, who, as we last saw in the story The Demons, is being held in a maximum security prison in a remote island at sea. It's not long though until the Master is up to his old tricks, as he has already taken over the prison and is using a device to summon the Sea Devils. Awoken from their hibernation, they are ready to reconquer the world which they claim was once theirs. This is Jon Pertwee's third series as the Doctor, and he is really taking the character into his stride. You see more of the action man work here going on with the fencing, and then you got all the gadgets going off with the sonic screwdriver, and yeah, just anything to do with like we've seen in Day of the Daleks, like anything sort of motorized, he will just go for it and have a blast with it. So we saw a bit of it here as well in the Sea Devils with the Master giving chase on the water, and yeah, it was just really fun to see. And it's the same with Roger Delgado as the Master. You know, he has just sort of got it down to a fine art with this character, and watching the documentary, it was very interesting to see that Jon Pertwee, who has a bit of a naval background, he was sort of all in with the stunts and going into sea and stuff like that. And Paul Roger is totally the opposite. He is he can't swim, or he couldn't swim, and but to be fair, he didn't really see it, you know, and especially with the chase on the sea as well, that must have been quite terrifying to do as well, you know, especially to hide the life jacket underneath the costume. And yeah, I thought they did it really well. And yeah, the we'll talk about the fencing scene whilst we're here as well. It was a really good scene, you know, it was really well choreographed, especially even using a bit of fast motion images, but you don't really see it. I don't tend to notice it. I'm just too sort of gripped into the scene. I do find it a little bit bonkers that there's just random swords laid about at this maximum security prison. I thought that was like, okay, that's a bit too convenient for my liking, but the scene nonetheless was really good. The only thing that really sort of dampens this a little bit is the incidental music. It's not my favorite. I just found it a bit too way out there. It's very much 70s music, and especially with this fencing scene, it just feels a little bit out of place. And again, with when they use the sort of sound effects for the police cars going around the prison on the island, they clearly had fun with a new toy with an electronic synthesizer and just using that instead of just proper siren sound effects. It just, yeah, just a bit weird. I like the Sea Devils in this story. I thought the costume and makeup design was really good. I also like the voices for them. It just adds that extra edge to them. It's a very different and unique voice. Compare that to, say, the Daleks or even the Silurians, to be fair. And yeah, this is like a quite a good loose sequel to the Silurians, just adding that extra element with the Master at play to sort of get his own personal gains into causing chaos and destruction on the planet Earth, and obviously the humans fighting for their survival, and the Doctor trying to be the peacekeeper. So yeah, those stories do work well for me here, like we did see previously in the Silurians. Katie Manning as Jo Grant is great as always in this one, and you do get to see the rapport between John and Kate really start to shine in these next sort of adventures. Really, sort of really kicked off quite well with the Day of the Daleks, and yeah, just builds up that nice friendship that they had with each other. And yeah, you can just see that on screen as well as off screen. But what I liked about the story was there's some quite memorable side characters, for for good or bad, I suppose. I'll start off with Edwin Richfield as Captain Hart. I really liked his character. I'm glad that he had his moment in the sun when he's shooting the rifle as he gets off the hovercraft in that sort of action sequence. It just kind of showed the character, you know, because he was bound by duty and red tape, and being sort of like, you know, a bit powerless in areas, but had his moment in the sun. And also we had like the George Trenchard, who was the security, well, the governor, I suppose, for the maximum security prison. And yeah, he was just totally under the Master's thumb. I quite like that. And yeah, he played it quite straight and loose. You know, you weren't quite sure. He was kind of getting. It was a bit believable that the Master wasn't able to hypnotize any of the guards and stuff, but yeah, it was just a ruse all along. But my favorite side character was Robert Walker, who was kind of like just came in to take over everything and just have breakfast. He was just he just wanted to just devour everything in his path. You know, just like just this this guy that's hiding behind the desk, giving out all these orders and having tea and toast at the same time. So I really liked that when the Sea Devils were starting to sort of take over and he was like just freaking out. It was just a fun sort of moments to see in the story. I'm going to give the Sea Devils a TARDIS rating of 6.5 out of 10. It's not one of my personal favourite stories. It's not one of those that I'm going to watch over and over again. There was a few sort of like, the story was a little bit stretched. This is a 6-part adventure. It felt a little bit stretched, but not too bad. As compared to other sort of 6-part adventures. And again, the incidental scoring was a bit sort of weird for my personal taste. But what I appreciate from this story is all the moments that this comes out of. This is the one where the Third Doctor says, I've reversed the polarity of the neutron flow for the very first time and then used it for the 5 Doctors. And obviously the Master watching the clangers, just very random. And I like that there was a bit of a callback to that in The Sound of Drums with the Master watching Teletubbies in the modern era of Doctor Who. And yeah, all the action sequences as well. There's some really good stunt work and choreography with the fencing that I mentioned earlier. And of course, Stuart Feld, he was one of the main sort of stunt actors and did the front flip in the Sea Devil costume. So that was quite cool. And again, just loads of different moments like the Sea Devils coming out of the water. So I can, like I said, it's might not be my personal favourite, but certainly appreciate all the work and effort that have come into this story. And yeah, definitely built up full of Doctor Who moments that you would just think back on in the third era of, John Pertwee's era of Doctor Who. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts to the Sea Devils. Is this one of your favourite Third Doctor stories? If not, what is your favourite Third Doctor story? Next time on Timey Wimey Review, it will be my spoiler talk / review of The Legend of the Sea Devils. Really looking forward to this Easter special. Can't wait to see the Sea Devils back in action once again. But until then, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this review. Please like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that cloister bell for more notifications. But as the good doctor once said, how many times have I told you? Violence will never get you anywhere.